Greetings to my kindred spirits and welcome to those that don't know me. My name is Kim and I'm also known as Star the Good Witch. Please do like, subscribe and share if you feel that my energy update resonates with you. This is a 13-star sign astrology forecast which is based on the true lifetime sky, so it will be different to Western astrology. If you would like more information on the 13-star sign astrology, please visit our website at siderealist.com. The link will be in the description box below. We have a full moon on the 26th of August, which according to the true lifetime sky will take place in the sign of Aquarius. The moon will reach her peak in the afternoon at 12:56 in the GMT time zone and at 7:56 in the EDT time zone. Also, after having a very enlightening conversation with my newly found soul sister Kat over at Cosmic Numerology, I was made aware that the 26th of August is another Lionsgate 8-8 portal, as 2 and 6 equals 8. Also, according to the true lifetime sky, the sun is still in Leo, so this full moon is another gateway for triggers and activations. The moon in Aquarius represents a unity of consciousness. But this moon understands that we all have to reach that level of consciousness in our own individual way. Aquarius is a sign of the humanitarian and is able to offer unconditional love and commitment in a non-personal way. She is a natural healer, and just being in her space will be very healing and calming. Her only perceived flaw is the fact that she can become very irrational and unstable if she feels that her personal freedom is being restricted, and this flaw can also hold her back from having a fulfilling intimate relationship. Aquarius on the whole actually holds the key to universal oneness, compassion, uniqueness and unconditional love. Uranus, her ruling planet, is actually in sextile to the Aquarius moon this month, which will help us to let go of past situations with unconditional love and acceptance. There is a magnetic quality to this sextile that can open up doors to new opportunities and ideas. This energy is very feminine in nature, so anyone who works in the field of alternative healing, metaphysics, or whose work is unique and for the betterment of mankind will get a lot of support at this time. Aquarius full moon will also be in sextile to Saturn, which can help to bring balance into our relationships, especially when it comes to giving and receiving. This sextile will encourage us to express ourselves authentically. This is a time where we will clearly be able to see what steps we need to take towards our life purpose and soul's growth. And it will also show us who will support us and who won't. But at the same time, we must keep it real and hold space for unconditional love and for a higher vibrational awareness, because the asteroid Pallas is in opposition to our moon and can expose us to the harsher realities of life, which in effect can cause us to completely shut down our emotions and therefore block the positive energy coming in. Pallas in opposition to our moon actually forces us to recognise emotional patterns, especially when it comes to our families and childhood conditioning. So, on the whole, it can be a good thing. The Black Moon Lilith is very active in our skies this month. Her lessons are very harsh, but like they say, you've got to be cruel to be kind sometimes, and that is definitely her energy, and she's kind of involved with most of the aspects here. So we've had an ongoing T-square with Mars and the South Node in opposition to the North Node, and all three have been in square to Uranus. And this T-square has been in effect since the beginning of June. And this full moon, the Black Moon Lilith joins forces with Mars and the South Node, which could further inhibit the evolution of our soul's growth and keep us stuck in a way of thinking that creates a fear of moving forward, unless we are willing to truly heal past life cycles of thoughts or behaviours. And this can also be an ancestral pattern. Mars is the ruler of Aries, and at present Uranus, who is the ruler of Aquarius, is retrograding through Aries. So this full moon will emphasise this T-square's energy. But to cut a long story short, it actually means that the masculine energy is still in resistance to spiritual growth, preferring things to stay the way they are. Because as they say, it's better the devil you know. The problem is with this resistance is that it creates a lot of pressure that mounts up until it finally explodes or implodes. So on a personal level and as a collective, we will be prone to sudden and erratic shifts, especially in our effort to stay in the status quo of life, which in turn could throw us up completely off track, or we could experience the rug being pulled from under our feet. We must go with the flow, as the energy that this T-square is creating is causing a lot of scattered energy and irritation. Some may have already experienced this, as the energy has been going on since June. It could also be that they thought this energy was done with, but it seems to be reigniting in some way. But to be honest, it will really depend on your own natal chart and what area this energy is activating. On the whole, this energy is very eruptive and volcanic, so we must be aware of that. Could be a few temper tantrums around as well. We also have a Yod, which is a very difficult aspect to overcome. We have the Black Moon Lilith in sextile to Chiron, which brings an opportunity for us to face our shadow and confront our deepest fears, our deepest wounds, and to recognise the impacts they've had on our life. But because they are both in quincunx, and I better be careful how I say that, as they're both in quincunx to our sun, which is a very fast energy, the quincunx energy, the realisations or the memories that occur could come in a little bit too quickly. And as a result, it can just be very overwhelming emotionally, where we can completely lose our sense of self and suffer an identity crisis. So, many may be going through this right now, like, who am I? I just don't know myself anymore. Or we could even shock ourselves with all this eruptive energy. So, we just have to try and keep it calm. Meditation is the best way, of course. But it's also important that we spend this time working on self-nurture and self-healing. Chiron represents the wound that never heals, and as Chiron is in Pisces, according to 13 star sign astrology, the wound that is brought to the surface is likely to be super sensitive and very, very deep. Even for those of us that are spiritually mature, this aspect is likely to rock our emotional equilibrium. I find it very difficult to say that word, so bear with me. We must be prepared to let go of the old to allow the new to manifest. So really we need to create space. It may feel like we're in separation, but we're not. Separation is an illusion, but we need the space for the energy, the healing energy, to absorb. So we must allow time for that. We must also be very clear with our intentions, as the energies coming in are manifesting our thoughts and actions at the speed of light. So be very careful about your thoughts and feelings, because they are manifesting into the physical world very, very quickly. But it is a fantastic time if you're adept at great manifestations. I mean, this is a wonderful time for that. The good news is that we have 2 double grand trines. I'm not, in big favour of grand trines, because sometimes they can tend to make us lazy or take things for granted. But I think with the first trine, which is between our Sun, Uranus, Saturn and the asteroid Vesta, this energy is actually quite fantastic, especially for those of us that are on the spiritual path and seeking spiritual growth. This grand trine energy makes it easy for us to open up to universal consciousness and brings in new levels of experience when it comes to metaphysical knowledge or further learning or putting those into practice. So this trine encourages spiritual oneness and unity of our divine masculine and divine feminine energies on an inner level. So this is like a connection on an inner level. Some may have already experienced this, but it will strengthen if you already have. The second grand trine is with Mars, Pluto and the asteroids Juno and Ceres, which is all about self-empowerment and motivation, as long as we're, doing that from a place of love and a place of balance. If we use this energy for self-nurture, then we are on the right track. But if we use it to nourish obsessive thoughts or behaviour, then it will keep us stuck in resistance and feelings of resentment. We must let go of our need to control and work on self-empowerment and spiritual abundance, not our materialistic or physical desires. If we follow this guidance, then it will make this transformational time far more easier to handle. So for this full moon, I recommend that we meditate on all of our chakra points, and I mean from our soul star chakra right through to our earth star chakra. And as the solar plexus is a central point, I feel we need to pay special attention to this central point to keep it in alignment. And we can do this by surrounding ourselves with the colour yellow or burning a yellow candle. Citrus incense will also be beneficial. This will keep us open to enlightenment, clarity, hope and remembrance. But we must only use this colour therapy if we are putting in the work with regards to meditation, if we're going to use it in abundance. But, if we're not going to meditate, then just splashes of yellow around the home, like yellow flowers or maybe a yellow drape. It works on our psychological health. And it's a feel-good feeling. So yellow's a nice colour, it's very uplifting. The affirmation I've chosen for this full moon is not one I've created, but I do feel is very relevant. I actually took this affirmation from the internet a few years ago for my own personal use, but I'm going to set this as an affirmation for this full moon, and it is: I am eternal, immortal, universal and infinite. I am beautiful. So I hope this 13 star sign energy update has been helpful to you all. And I'd just like to say that I really do appreciate all your love and support. It's been fantastic. The feedback from the last video, I wasn't very confident about putting it out. It was my first video, but the response I got was fantastic, and it's inspired me to do more. So hence today's video. So I do hope I get the same feedback.